So the report says that performers were paid between $60 to $200 to support the oil company's efforts. So some of the concerned citizens who turned up at a city council meeting in New Orleans to support a proposed power plant were in fact paid actors, according to a new report. People were paid to show up at the city council meeting last October and last February. The meetings were held in a survey to survey public opinion on efforts by Entergy, is the energy company, an energy company that serves areas throughout the Deep South, to develop a new power plant in New Orleans East. In March, the city council approved the power plant by a vote of 6-1, overruling the objections of opponents who say that the plant is expensive and will pollute eastern New Orleans. A number of local residents spoke in favor of the power plant over the course of more than 22 meetings, but doubts are now being raised over just how authentic these voices were. Roughly 50 people turned out to support a $210 million effort to build a power plant in a city during one October meeting, but several attendees told a local news outlet that they were paid $60 to wear orange shirts and express support for the endeavor. Actors with speaking roles who read pre-written statements were reportedly paid $200. One told the publication he recognized as many as 15 people in the audience who were local performers. Girl, no. I'm an actor. I wouldn't do it. But I understand this guy said he needed money, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. He says, Ken Kof said that they paid us to sit there at the meeting and clap every time someone said something against wind and solar power. He said that he was not political but needed the money. The actors were asked to sign non-disclosure agreements barring them from discussing the agreement, but several agreed to talk to the local media on the condition of anonymity. Sorry. Anonymity. Yep. So Coe said that he moved to North Carolina in the time period following the meetings, and he agreed to be named after a friend who recognized him in the gatherings and encouraged him to come forward. The meetings, the staged performances seem to have been organized by two men, Garrett Wilkerson and Daniel Taylor, who are not believed to be from New Orleans. In a Facebook message, Wilkerson laid out the specifics on the job to one actor, and he said, "The council already supports it. This is mostly just to show them that the citizens don't have a problem with it. Free pizza and a round of drinks after it is over, at which point pay will be dispersed in cash. I'm prepared to offer you a non-speaking role of $60 plus a potential bonus." And this is nothing new. Talking points offered to those with speaking roles included comparing New Orleans to a developing country and in indicating the power plant might reduce crime. Actors were later paid for their effort at a local Dave & Buster's. Officials for the Entergy released a statement following the report from the local news station, Lens. They're called Lens, the local news station, saying that the company played no role in hiring the actors. As we have stated previously, Entergy, New Orleans did not pay anyone to attend the council meeting or direct anyone to attend public meetings. Instead, we worked tirelessly to encourage our supporters to take time from their busy workday schedules to testify on behalf of the project. That scores of them did so in multiple settings is a testament to the tremendous level of support, the statement read. The power plant has met with strong opposition by local residents who are fearing the pollution, and that they should, because it is shown all over the United States that these plants cause illnesses they cause people to die. I did a report in Buffalo, New York. We have a huge power plant there, and the entire surrounding area, there is a incredibly high number of neurological diseases. And I interviewed a woman whose sister is in her late 20s, and she wears a diaper, she can't speak. The only thing she does is make a sound like a siren. That's her life. And this is happening all over that neighborhood. There are so many other residents of that neighborhood who are suffering from neurological diseases, and that's a direct result of the power plant that they are literally in eyesight from. So yes, I believe that they shouldn't build this power plant, and the citizens are very, very, they definitely should be fighting it. So the councilwoman, Stacey Heed, the lone dissenting vote against the power plant, called the prospect of paid actors mortal, reprehensible. I think it had a phenomenal impact on the public opinion, she says. It is unclear whether hiring the actors would constitute a violation of law. Two coalitions, the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice and the Sierra Club, have asked New Orleans City Council to investigate and take legal actions, but as of this moment, they are not. So how common is this, is the question. And it is very common. A report revealed 15 of 21 Energy Citizens pro-fossil fuel rallies and events staged to look like grassroots efforts by everyday citizens were actually planned by oil and industry lobbyists. So Energy Citizens is a pro-fossil fuel group. The cats are fighting. And they were investigated, and it was revealed that 15 of 21 of their rallies were paid for and organized by the company themselves. Thus, they were fake. This was a huge one. This was back in 2010. Koch-funded oil rally calls global warming a hoax, dismisses oil spill, and attacks Democrats. Roll it all up into one ball. The Koch brothers. Yes, they paid for multiple rallies across the United States in 2010 and as well as the year before. So beginning in September, the oil industry launched a national astroturfing effort. So that's what they call it when they pay actors to show up for these rallies. They call it astroturfing. National astroturfing effort called Rally for Jobs. So they posed this as a rally for jobs, but it was actually a pro-fossil fuel anti-Democrat rally. The events, which are being held across the nation, are backed by right-wing billionaire brothers Koch, Charles and David Koch. They launched a nearly identical pro-oil campaign in the summer of 2009 that was eventually investigated and revealed to be paid attendees and actors. Think Progress attended one of the rallies in Canton, Ohio. What was billed as an organic grassroots job rally quickly descended into attacks on the three things that Koch brothers most oppose: global warming, oil safety regulations, and Democrats. Global warming. So one of the speakers, Sergeant Dennis Bartow, called global warming a hoax. He was joined by Karen Wright, CEO of the gas company Ariel Corporation, who ridiculed climate change as a questionable science and referred to the pollutants as so-called carbon dioxide emissions. Wright went on to rail against so-called green jobs, that they were dubious and phony, and Americans eat it up and spit it out as if it is the gospel. Not you and I, clearly. Of the approximately 400 people who showed up for the rally, most arrived in 4 buses that were paid for and organized by oil and gas companies. Think Progress caught up with one of the attendees who confirmed that Marathon Petroleum arranged a bus bringing over 50 of its employees to the rally. Others said that they were paid to attend. So like I said, I was fighting the national fuel pipeline going through Western New York last year, and I attended, they had 3 hearings open to the public where you could say if you were against it or not against it, and it was very, it was sad. A lot of people who showed up were concerned that these pipelines would make them sick, but a lot of the people who showed up had family members who already were sick from the existing pipelines that are already going through New York and from the generators that put out benzene. I talked about this before. There was a man who went up there with the story about his wife who died from a rare form of cancer caused by benzene. And there was a nurse from, we have one of the biggest cancer hospitals in the United States there. My sister went there recently for breast cancer. My uncle went there who just died of a different form of cancer. Anyways, a nurse from there had come out to say that she deals with people every day, elderly people and children who have rare forms of cancer that she believes to be linked to the pipelines and the benzene that's coming out of them. And that's just one effect, right? Because when the pipelines start leaking into waterways, we have something all new, a whole new problem. And when they explode, people definitely die. So anyways, I went to the rally, and there was half of the people there were wearing these bright yellow shirts, and they were cackling and bullying all the other speakers. And it got to the point where people were being called to speak, and they said no, they would not speak. And the woman in front of me turned around. She was an elderly woman whose husband had passed away, and she had tears in her eyes, and she says, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to. And she looked up behind me at the group of workers there with their yellow shirts on, and that's why she wouldn't speak, because she was being bullied. And now I look back on it and I wonder how many of those people were paid.